I came to baseball through the radio. And I grew up in central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, university town. There were two teams in Chicago and two in St. Louis, which was then the westwardmost outpost of baseball. I'm 83, so this was in the late 40s that I got used to it. And baseball was my connection to the metropolitan America. At about that time, I was really in the 50s, along came a wonder that to me was better than the internet ever will be, and that is the transistor radio. And late at night I could get KDKA from Pittsburgh, listen to Bob Prince, the Pirates, who famously at the end of a seesaw 13-12 back and forth game would say we had them all the way. And I could get Milwaukee when the Braves came from Boston to Milwaukee in '54. So it was radio that did it. One of the great things about baseball is it's the first thing that I experienced as a child where I could actually peg up with the adults. Because frankly, my opinion was just as good as an adult's opinion on who the greatest shortstop was. In fact, it was better in most cases.
That's right.
And it gave you a sense of a sort of circumscribed field you could actually have a lot of knowledge about. I think baseball appealed to me the same reason when I watch television at all anymore. I watch CNBC because their people know something. And I'm not interested in opinions. I'm interested in people who have metrics and numbers and can tell you what's happening. That's how I got into baseball.
Let me ask a follow-up here. You followed the Cubs as a child, and they didn't win any World Series, certainly. They had great players. And then they finally won in 2016, and the paperback edition of A Nice Place on the North Side has your column of reacting to it, because that book was published before they won that World Series. Do you still have stronger emotional connections to those losing teams than you do to the one team that won in 2016? No. That's your favorite Cubs team?
Well, I always hated the idea they were lovable losers. Losing, I know, is good for your character, but I've got enough character. I don't need that. I was at the Bartman game. I don't know how many. In 2003, the Cubs all they have to do is win this sixth game of their series with Florida, and they go to the World Series, which they had been to. They had won since 1908 and been to since 1945. Fly ball down the line. A kid named Bartman reaches out. Moises Alou can't catch it. Double play ball to short. Anyway, they lost. Had to come back the next night. So I'm leaving Wrigley Field and surrounded by Cub fans who are 98% scar tissue at the best of times. And in this mob, someone recognized me and said, "Mr. Wu, we'll get him tomorrow." And I said, "Not a chance," which turned out to be the case. Well, when the Cubs played the Padres in, I guess, I can't remember what year it was.
Early 80s, right?
Early
84?
84. And the Cubs won the first two games. And I'm leaving Wrigley Field, and I'm walking with Don Drysdale, who'd Hall of Fame pitcher for the Dodgers, who'd broadcast it for ABC. And Drysdale said to me, "Well, Will, now as a Cub fan, don't you believe now?" And I said, "I believe it'll be the Padres in 5," which it was.